Okay, student, I am going to start the new topic. This is a frequency domain analysis. It's a very important topic. So previously we have studied time domain analysis. Now we are going to study the frequency domain analysis. So there we have to find the stability of the system by using route stability criterion, and the second one is the root locus technique. By using these two methods, so we have found the stability of the system, and also we will find the marginal stability of the system, instability of the system, right? So now this topic is very important, the frequency domain analysis. So here the learning objectives here. In the learning objectives, so first is to study the frequency response and determine the frequency domain specifications. So we just briefly, I'm just going to introduction about the frequency response, right? And we are going to study the frequency domain specifications. See, frequency domain specifications are resonant peak, right? And another with the resonant frequency, right? And another one is a bandwidth and a cutoff rate. Another one is the phase margin and gain margin. So these are the time domain specifications, right? M bar, omega r, bandwidth, cutoff rate, and phase margin, gain margin. So like in the time domain specifications, we had a time delay and rise term, peak term, maximum peak overshoot, and settling time. There also time domain specification. Here the frequency domain specifications are these 6. What is that? Maximum resonant peak MR, and resonant frequency WR, and bandwidth BW is a bandwidth, and cutoff rate, and phase margin, and gain margin. Then, and also the second objective is to conduct stability analysis from polar plot, right? So by using polar plot, we are going to conduct the stability for polar plots. So we are going to discuss what is a polar plot and all those things. So the third point is to understand the Nyquist stability criterion and apply it. So Nyquist stability criterion, it says that N is the third one is to understand the Nyquist. The third one is to understand the Nyquist stability criterion and apply it. So what is the Nyquist stability criterion says? So you just remember here. So that is N is equal to P minus Z. N means encirclements, P means so open loop poles, and 0 means Z means closed loop poles. So we know the P value here, and so by finding N value, you can easily find the Z here. So that's how we are going to find the stability of the system. The fourth one is to conduct the stability analysis of Bode plot. So this is the learning objectives. The first one is we have to find the frequency response. Just we are going to study frequency response, and we are going to determine the frequency domain specifications. So we are going to derive the expression for MR, omega, bandwidth, and cutoff rate, phase margin, and gain margin. The next objective is to conduct the stability analysis from polar plot. By using polar plot, we are going to study the stability analysis. The same way, the third one is to understand the Nyquist stability criterion and apply it. So I have given the key formula here to find the stability by using Nyquist stability criterion, that is N is equal to P minus Z. N means encirclements, okay? P means open loop poles, Z means closed loop poles. So this P we know, right, for the given transfer function, and you have to find the encirclement. Okay, so if P value, N value you know, you can find the Z value. Z value is the closed loop poles. Then it will tell how many poles are lying left half of the how many poles are lying right above the S plane, right. The fourth one is to conduct the stability analysis from Bode plot, right. So as I told you, so previously we have studied the time domain analysis. In time domain analysis, actually it is little difficult to find stability of the system, but in a frequency domain it's a very easy to find. In a frequency domain it's a very easy to find stability. Frequency domain analysis, right. So what are the advantages here? The first advantage is, what are the advantages here? So here the advantage is that, so your system, you may not have an accurate model, but still you will get suitable, you will get a very good result. So in a time domain analysis, what happens, you should have a exact, the perfect model. If you have a model, so that then you are able to find the stability. In the frequency domain, what happens, if you even, so your model may not be very accurate, so there you should have an accurate model, so to find the stability of the system. Here, even if your model may not be very accurate, but still you are able to find the stability of the system, so you will get the good result, okay. And the second one is, so all other methods heavily depending on the accuracy of the model. So here it's not like that, okay. So and another thing, the advantage is noise filtering is very good. In the frequency domain, noise filtering is very good. So here we see that I'm going to take a one control system. I'm going to take a control system. So we know generally it's a linear control system and linear time invariant control system. So your input is here in a frequency domain. So your input is R of S is equal to that is R sine omega naught t, right. This is your control system. This is your control system. So you get the output. So output C of S is equal to y sine omega naught t plus phi. You see that your signal is a sinusoidal. Your input is sinusoidal, and here output also sinusoidal. Your output also sinusoidal. So what is the difference here? So only your amplitude and phase angle will change the output side. See, if you give the input signal frequency, that is sinusoidal signal, right, and you also will get the output also sinusoidal signal, but what will change here? The only will change here frequency, amplitude will change. Amplitude will change, and phase angle will change. Phase angle will change. See, the frequency remain constant from input and output. The frequency same. Frequency is the same here. Frequency remain constant. Frequency is not going to change here, right. So once again I am telling you, if you give the input sinusoidal signal and you also will get the output is sinusoidal signal, the frequency is the same, input side and output side. The only change will happen output side, amplitude and phase. The amplitude and phase, and this is called the frequency response. Frequency response, and also we can say frequency analysis. The frequency analysis. So we are going to find how we are going to analyze. We are going to find whether system is stable or not, right. And one more thing, I want to give another advantages here. See, in time domain it's very difficult to find the stability. It's a little difficult to find it, but in a frequency domain it's very easy, and also accuracy also is there, right. So here the frequency analysis, it means how we are going to find the stability of the system. So we are going to find stability by using three methods as per your syllabus. So the first one is you are going to find the stability of the frequency systems. The first one is to find the stability in a frequency domain. To find stability in a frequency domain, you have methods. The first method is Bode plot. Bode plot. By using Bode plot method, we are going to find the frequency. Stability of the system. And the second one, you are going to find the polar plot. Polar plot. Third one is a Nyquist plot. Nyquist plot. So of course there are many other methods also there, but in the universe syllabus, so we have only three methods. That's a Bode plot and a polar plot and a Nyquist plot. So by using these methods, we are going to find the stability of the system, right? So next, one more thing you should remember here. So I told you, see, R of S is the input and Y of C of S is the output. So what is the difference? Input, if you give the sinusoidal signal, output also you will get the sinusoidal signal. Yeah, the frequency is same both side, input side and output side, but only change is happening here. Output side is amplitude and phase, as I told you. This only going to change. So now how we are going to make a stability of the system? Here analysis means the frequency analysis means here. So you have to analyze, right, the output. You have to analyze the output. See, if you take this system is stable, so what happened? So you have an output side, you have a two components. One is the transient response, and so output side is one is the transient response plus steady state response. So what happened? See, in a frequency domain, as t tends to infinity, right? As t tends to infinity, what happened? This transient. See, when you say this system is stable, so what happened? You get responses, transient response and steady state response. As t tends to infinity, transient response will die out and we will have only steady state response, right? For this steady state response, you have to apply the frequency plots, these two plots, Bode plot and polar plot and Nyquist plot, to find the stability of the system, right? So you just see that in a Bode plot and how you are going to find the stability of the system. So it's a very easy, and I will give the concept so that it's very easy to understand. You just see that in the polar plot, how you are going to make a, see in the polar plot, you have to find the magnitude versus phase, right? So very important thing you should understand here. So you have to find the, so what is the change? Only output is the changing amplitude and phase only you are changing. So we have to only draw the frequency response for magnitude and phase angle, right? Magnitude and phase angle, right? So you have to apply three methods: the Bode plot and the polar plot and Nyquist plot, right? So you take any transfer function. For the transfer function, you have to take the magnitude and also you have to find the phase angle. Then you can draw the graphs to find the stability of the system. What is the first method? There is a polar plot is there. So polar plot, I am just giving the concept here, polar plot. To find the stability by using polar plot, what you have to do, see, so you have to find the magnitude and phase, okay, in the polar coordinates as omega varies from 0 to infinity. I just write here a plot of the magnitude, versus phase in in the polar coordinates as omega is varied from 0 to infinity, right? So you find the magnitude of g omega, okay, and find the phase angle of g omega, right? And you just draw a polar coordinates, right? Okay, by omega is equal to varying 0 to infinity, and you draw this both plots, magnitude plot and polar plot, so you can determine the stability of the system. In the Bode plot, in the second thing, in the Bode plot, so we are going to find the Bode plot. So there are two plots are there here. A dual plot of omega taken on the x-axis of a semi sheet versus and magnitude in decimal, and that is 20 log g omega, and second one is the phase angle, both taken on y-axis, right? There are two graphs are required, one is the magnitude plot and phase plot, and there we are going to by using phase margin, gain margin, we are going to find the stability of the system. And the third one is the Nyquist plot. Is a Nyquist plot the same like polar plot, but omega here Nyquist plot. So what happened here, same like polar plot, you have to find the magnitude, so magnitude plot and phase plot, okay, you find it, but here omega varies from minus infinity to, okay, plus infinity. So by using this you are going to find the stability of the system, right? So that's how we are going to find the stability of the system, right? So now we find time domain, frequency domain specifications. So what are the frequency domain specifications? As I told you, time domain specifications. So next we are going to study frequency domain specifications. So what are the frequency domain specifications, right? So I have told you it's a bandwidth, right? And the omega r. So first I am going to draw a graph, right? So this is a graph in a frequency domain response. So this is omega, and this is the magnitude plot. So that is g j omega magnitude I have taken here, okay. So this is the graph, right? And here is the MP, this is the MP, maximum peak, sorry, this is a resonant peak, and this one is omega r, that is a resonant peak, and this is the one, and from this I am going to draw the bandwidth, and this is cutoff rate, this is cutoff rate, right? The time domain specifications here, the first one is resonant peak, generally we are going to represent as MR. The second one is resonant frequency, I am going to represent omega r. Third one is bandwidth, I am going to represent as band BW. The fourth one is cutoff rate. These are the four important parameters we are going to study one by one we are going to study. You just see that what is MR? If you just see here, what is MR in this diagram? What is MR? So MR indicates the relative stability of a closed loop system. Here the MR, that is a resonant peak, resonant MR. So MR, it indicates the relative stability of a stable closed loop system, right? And resonant peak, and the response of another definition is the resonant peak MR is the maximum value of mj omega. So I'm going to write the definition here. Another definition: the resonant peak MR is the maximum value of so gj omega. So see the diagram here. So MR is this is MR. What is it? This one is the maximum value of this gj omega, right? So in general, the magnitude of MR gives indication of relative stability of a closed loop system. So normally a large MR corresponding to a large maximum overshoot of the step response. And for the most control systems, it is generally accepted in practice that the desired value of MR should be between 1.1 and 1.5. Right, I told you that MR is corresponding to, what is that? Large maximum overshoot of a step response. It's a time domain, right? It's in a frequency domain. This is corresponding to large maximum overshoot of a step response, right? So MR value should be between it should be between 1.1 and 1.5, right? So next omega R. See omega R, what is that? This is a resonant frequency. Resonant frequency omega R. So the resonant frequency omega R is the frequency at which the peak resonance MR occurs. You just see that here. See resonant peak, this is a omega R. So omega R is the frequency at which the peak resonance MR will occur. So where is omega? Where it is a peak resonance will occur. So that is called the resonant frequency, right? Resonant frequency. And here the resonant frequency gives an indication of transient response properties of control system. You will see that here. So omega R gives an indication of the transient transient response properties of a control system. Control system, right? So that's the important, right? So next we will study the bandwidth. What's the bandwidth? Next we are going to study the bandwidth. So bandwidth dW is the bandwidth. Okay. So what is the bandwidth? If we just see that the bandwidth is the frequency at which Gj omega drops to 0.707. So the bandwidth, the definition is the bandwidth is the frequency at which Gj omega drops to 70.7%. Okay, we just see that where it is going to drop. So it is going to drop here 0. So here, so bandwidth is here. Sorry, here is this is the bandwidth. This is the bandwidth 1 by root 2, or we can say it is a 0.707. So this is the bandwidth. So it is going to drop there at 0.707, right? So here the large bandwidth corresponding to a faster time response, since higher frequency signals are more easily pass through the system. Conversely, if the bandwidth is small, only signal of relativity low frequencies are passed, and the time response will be slow and sluggish. So bandwidth also indicates the noise filtering characteristics and the robustness of the system. The robustness represents a measure of the sensitivity of a system to parameter variation. A robust system is one that is insensitive to parameter variation. Next we are going to say next is the cutoff rate. See, often bandwidth alone is inadequate to indicate the ability of a system in distinguishing signals from noise. Sometimes it may be necessary to look at the slope. It is very necessary. So you have to look at the slope also here, right? So that's very important. Sometimes what happened, this bandwidth may be same for the different systems, but the slope may be different, right? So what you have to do? So we have to look at this cutoff rates. It may be different. Okay, so that we have to find it.